Okay, this video should continue from the previous one where we finished talking about the present value and the future value and the return and t and how they can relate together. So, so we have a formula like this. It's basically saying that present value, that is how much your money worth right now, multiplied with 1 plus r, which is the assumed rate of return you can invest in, raised to the power of t, which is the number of years you intend to invest your money, equals to the future value, which is the t years later value of your money right now. Okay, so for example, if you decide to invest $1 right now at the moment, then $1 is the present value. And if you want to invest this $1, or if you expect to be able to invest this $1 at 8%, then R is 8%. And if you want to invest this thing for 9 years, then T equals to 9. And if you put these together, $1 times 1 plus 8% raised to the power of 9, you should get $2. So that's basically saying, assuming that you can invest at 8% per year, you should be able to turn $1 today into $2 9 years later. Okay? So in today's video, we're going to keep going and discuss interest rate quotes, annual percentage rates, and effective annual rates. So that's our EAR and APR and EARs. So when you're talking to a bank, for example, if you want to open a savings account at a bank, the bank is going to tell you what's the APR. So that is a quoted rate rather than the effective return you're going to get. So for example, if you decide to put $100 in the bank, and the bank says, oh, you're going to get a 4% interest rate, at the end of the year, you're not going to get $104. That is 100 principal and $4 of interest. You're actually going to get more than that, because in a savings account, the savings account usually has something called a daily compounding. So that's basically saying for every day you calculate an interest and a principal. Of course, it's always $100, and then use the total of that to calculate the interest for the next day. So very similar to our annual compounding, it's just we increase the frequency to daily. So the question now is, how do I know what's the actual return I'm going to get in a year? So what you need to do is to first calculate something called a periodic return. So if that return, if it's the compounding frequency is daily, then you need to calculate a daily return. So how do you do it? So the way you do it is to actually use the annual percentage return, that is the quoted rate. So it can be 4%, it can be 8%, it can be, whatever the bank quotes you. And you use that to divide by the number of periods within the year that you're going to compound this. So if it's daily compounding, that means within a year, you're going to compound for 365 days, right? So you're going to compound for 365 periods. So what you do is, you calculate our daily return, that's the R daily, that equals to APR, which is the quoted rate, divided by 365, so which is number of days or number of periods, or, number of compounding periods within the year. So this daily return is called the periodic rate. Okay. So on the other hand, the effective annual rate, EAR, is the actual return you're going to get. So if you invest $100 and you're promised a EAR of, let's say, 4%, then at the end of the year, you're going to get $104. Okay. So how do I convert APR to EAR? Because, when bank quotes you, they usually just quote you APRs. So you don't know how much you're going to get in the end as your effective annual rate. So how do I convert APR to EARs? What you do is that you first calculate a periodic rate. So in the example on the slide, if the APR is 8%, okay, You divide by 365, you get your periodic rate, which is your daily rate. That is 0.000219. It's about 0.022%. It's very small each day. And then you're going to calculate EAR as if you're calculating the total return you're going to get for investing in this very low periodical rate for 365 periods. So if you put $1 in this, if you put $1 at the beginning of the period, and at the end of the period you have the period 365. Right now you put $1 in there. Okay, right now you put $1 in there, and for each period the rate is 0.000219. Okay, so for each period your rate is 0.000219. So how do you calculate the future value? Right, that's my first question. How do you calculate the future value? So the future value should be $1, right, times 1 plus 0.000219 to the power of 365, right? So that's gonna be 1.083278 dollars. Okay, so if you invest $1 in this account and you get 0.000219 per day, and for a year it's going to be 365 days. So in the end you're going to receive 1.083278. So if you get $1 at the beginning and you end up with 1.083278 in the end, what's your return over the year? What's your return over the year? Your return is going to be 1.083278 minus 1 divided by 1, right? So your dollar profit in the numerator and your original principal in the denominator. So for short, I just have 1.083278 minus 1, which is 8.3278%. Okay, so that's why we have this minus 1. Okay, so that is how you convert APR to EAR. So if I keep going, you're going to see that in this table, what you need to do is to convert APR to EARs. This is also in your reading, so I do encourage you to do it yourself. So for the first one, we already know it. We need to first figure out the periodic rate, which is here. And then we got the EAR, which is this. So the periodic rate is going to be 0.000219. And the EAR is 0.083278, right? So this is the APR and the EAR. And what about monthly? Okay, what about monthly? So what you want to do is you want to use 0.08 divided by 12, right? In a year there are 12 months. What about quarterly? You're going to use 0.08 divided by 4, right? What about semi-annually? Semi-annually, 0.08 divided by 2. You get your periodic rate. And then to get your EAR, what you need to do is that you need to use 1 plus the periodical rate, 0.08 divided by 12, right? Raised to the power of 12, because there are 12 months in a year. And this is the ending value, right? The future value at the end of the year. If you invest $1 and then you minus 1, you got your return. Okay, so the same thing for the others. Try it yourself. The answers are in the readings, so you can check the answers yourself.